This year's theme is about resilience. And I think we've all had moments where we had to rise above our circumstances and to do something that was hard for us to do. Resiliency is the ability to bounce back after you face some kind of adversity, challenge, setback, moment where you fell down. It's not about coming back to our original change. When we're stressed and we're challenged, we respond, we become stronger than we were originally. So I want you to think about resiliency as that when we fall, we stumble, we face challenge, we deal with adversity, we actually bounce forward. When I think about how we deal with adversity, I believe that there are three archetypes. The first one is what I call the climber. These are individuals that learn to rise above their circumstance. The second archetype that we have is what I call the camper. They don't like uncertainty. They have a tendency to retract when they face challenges. Now, we had some people that fall into what I call the last area, what I call the captives. They have a tendency of being highly negative. They have a tendency of being very pessimistic. Their response to everything is we can't do that, or simply no. Climbers have a tendency of being more resilient because they don't let the circumstances stop them from moving forward. So I want to share with you 3 ways to actually always ensure that you're moving towards being a climber. The first idea that I want to share with you is this concept of facing the brutal facts. Companies today aren't facing the brutal facts that our industry is changing and we have to change and transform faster. The second principle I want to share with you has to do with purpose. How many times in our life have we focused on something so small and significant in the larger scheme of our lives, consumed every waking moment, and we lost sight of what we're really here for? The more purpose we have, the more successful we can be. The last thing is we got to talk about being agile, being improvisational, being innovative. The way we survive is we have to differentiate ourselves, and the way we differentiate ourselves is by improvising, innovating, being agile to change our direction without a thought. If we're resilient long enough, we can create amazing things. We can change our lives. We can have an impact on those around us like we never had before, just simply by being more resilient. I think it's a really remarkable trait of resiliency. When we demonstrate it at the highest level, it becomes less about ourselves and it's about something greater than who we are. I want to kind of take it to the next step and say, what really defines resiliency? And I think there's 3 things that define resiliency. The first thing is this, that I think there has to be a level of what I call optimistic paranoia. The second thing I think that happens when we look at resiliency is this, what I call humility. When we don't have humility, we're very defensive, we justify our actions, we don't learn from the experience, and we have a tendency of repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Then the third quality or attribute I think that exists with people and organizations that are resilient is something I call grit. There's 2 traits that exist with people that have high grit. The first one is they're passionate. And this passion falls into line with purpose and meaning. And the second is that there's this strong sense of perseverance. It's not talent necessarily that makes people successful or not successful, makes them to overcome circumstances. It's the fact that people have prepared their entire lives for those moments that happen. There are things you can physically do to become stronger, to be able to handle adversity, to be more resilient, to be more gritty when time calls for it. For people that are gritty, they find a way to create space. They create winnable moments. So we can handle any challenge. I'm able to bounce forward from them and actually grow and become stronger, more agile, being able to withstand more, to take on more. To create winnable moments, we have to break down these challenges that we face to very small chunks of time. Sometimes we look at everything as trying to solve it all at once. It doesn't work that way. So we need to create these winnable moments. We can accomplish and overcome anything if we break it down to the smallest possible chunk of time. That's what gritty people do. That's what resilience is about, is taking that next step. Even though it's difficult, even though it's painful, even though your body, your mind, and everyone tells you you shouldn't, you take one more step. Grit and resiliency is tested every day on the small things that we do and choose to do. When we are tested, the best of us rises to the occasion. Imagine we could tap into the best of us every single day, whether we're facing adversity or not facing adversity. Imagine what we could accomplish. Imagine the success and happiness and contentment we'd have in our life if we were our best selves every single day. Whatever we need in life, it's not out there, it's inside here.